All right, folks, we are going to be turning up on a Tuesday morning session. I appreciate everyone who comes on into this live show. I'm just reposting this on Twitter right now to let everyone know that we are live here on a Tuesday morning, ready to rock and roll. And I just had to share out that tweet real quick. If you're not already, make sure you follow us on Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube is where we're dropping content on a daily basis for you guys. If you're looking to get in touch, it's at my website, ZachRector.com. And you already know that we had to take the conversation here, right? You already know that we couldn't miss this opportunity to remind everyone what we're here to do, or at least what I'm here to do, and a few other friends that I have. We do view XRP as a world reserve bridge currency. It's very simple. And yes, have we achieved world domination that were set out here, our aspirations? And obviously, have we seen it in the price action? No. But retail is making noise based off of price action on a daily basis, while the adults in the room focus on seismic shifts in our financial system. That's what we're going to be talking about here in today's episode. You already know where I'm going to go. You're going to have to wait till the end to get to the good stuff because we got a full update for you guys coming in on the current events, financial markets, and how we are going to get ourselves, our families, and our businesses on the right side of this transfer of wealth that's already underway. And I'll tell you that XRP is just one part of it, but sure did close off and wrap up and tie back a lot of those grand conspiracies that we started to understand, for me, over a decade ago back in high school, when I started to understand what the Federal Reserve was. And I brought this up yesterday in the video, a little quick short video that I did that got heavily suppressed on TikTok. It was pretty funny to see, actually. I think I had like less than 1,000 views on this TikTok that's talking about Senator Ted Cruz proposing a bill to ban the Federal Reserve from the CBDC. Well, that's okay. It's okay to talk about banning the Fed from the CBDC, but what did I mention? I mentioned, why do we even have a Federal Reserve central bank in the first place, right? And many people now discussing this. Obviously, we saw the passing of Rothschilds. And like I said, this is huge tectonic shifts in our financial system that we're seeing unfolding. And the markets are absolutely ripping. So I want to get right on into this update. We're going to try to go through this as fast as possible. Thanks for stopping by. Bitcoin back down after going up to nearly 57,500. Here's your Bitcoin chart. We see that Ethereum is at 3,200. And if you guys haven't already, please smash the thumbs up. We love to see the green candles, and we love it when you smash that thumbs up and share it out far and wide. XRP went up to 57 cents, cooling off here at 56 as we speak. XLM and just below 12 cents right now as we speak. Once again, it's about 8:15 a.m. on the West Coast. That's 11 a.m. Eastern for those watching this after the fact. 20 cents for your Algorand. And we did see a sell-off already come in on Solana. Now, when we go back to Bitcoin, because Bitcoin's our leading indicator, not just for crypto, but for the entire markets right now, you're seeing what I believe to be a pump with very little support on a technical level. The fundamentals for Bitcoin right now are very solid. A lot of people want to get away from their fiat currency, not just the US dollar. We're talking about worldwide. People want to get away from their fiat currency. We're seeing a record amount of buying of precious metals, gold and silver, and we're seeing a huge shift of liquidity coming into the digital asset space right now. The fundamentals for Bitcoin are solid. The story's there. As I always say, you got story, you got narrative, you got hype, and you do have fundamentals for Bitcoin as well. It's up to 57,000. That's great. Now, I got to remind everybody though, oh boy, this is exactly how they set us up. The market maker magicians right before the March 2020 collapse. So I'm remaining cautious. We're approaching a Bitcoin halving. Remember, the Bitcoin halving in 2020 was in April as well, right? And what did we have in March? 60% correction for Bitcoin. So I'm just remaining calm. I appreciate the pump. I respect the pump. I get excited about the pump. But I understand the fundamentals, and that's what I'm about to run through with the next data points that we're going to share with you guys right on into the update. Let's get it. What am I talking about? The number of news articles mentioning the term soft landing has reached its highest level since 2007 and 2000. How many data points align with the great financial crisis, the dot-com bubble, every other crash that we've seen in the markets going back to the Great Depression? They all do, including the yield curve since 1964. Yield curve inversions have systematically ended in recessions. Steepening is the trigger to watch as it signals the recession is closing in. But they say this time's different. But my Bitcoin's pumping, but I'm having a good time. My meme coin is pumping. My Nvidia has been pumping, and the stocks are actually rolling over this morning. So while the crypto market's ripping, melting faces, we're all having good, the equities market's already starting to roll over right now. And the front page of Market Watch this morning was, trader that marked the 2022 sell-off is saying to stick on the sidelines right now with cash to get ready for a 10% pullback. And remember, in 2022, we didn't see just a 10% pullback. Remember what I pointed out for Nvidia. It was a 68% collapse, crash, not a dip, not a buy the you can call it a buy the dip opportunity, but it was down 68%. What are the hedge funds doing with those tech stocks since we mentioned it? Well, they're dumping tech as retail buys it up. This chart from Goldman Sachs, which shows you the net trading flows. And we're seeing a massive sell-off right now on tech stocks by the largest hedge funds in the world. Meanwhile, retail traders cheerleading, right? Taking their allowance money to Robinhood, becoming an investor. And that has gotten us all excited. The data points on the back end show that the system's still breaking and that we are entering a recession. Sorry, right there's our data point here. Durable goods orders dropped 6.1% in January on fewer airplane contracts. Business investment is flat at the start of the year. Now, what I'm going through, that's a data point that's actually not good, doesn't read good on the headlines, right? We are struggling. We dropped 6.1% in January. The next data point that I'm going to show you is what we're seeing a lot of, right? Which is some headline data points that read well, but the devil's in the details. And I'll show you what I'm talking about right here from Market Watch once again. Sales of new homes tick up in January. Okay. Now, what also came out today was the Case-Shiller Price Index. And it shows that, remember, these are resale homes tracked in the Case-Shiller. What we got yesterday on Monday was the sales of new homes. So sales of new homes tick up, and then we saw prices on the resale homes, already built homes, already owned, right? This is somebody selling off. And the Case-Shiller only pulls from about 20 metros across the United States of America. But that data point, what is it showing? All-time high prices. But when you look, the devil's in the details, right? How are they achieving sales of new homes ticking back up? Rate buy downs, incentives, every sort of offering. These builders, excuse my language, but they're bending over to sell these properties. They're doing everything that they can to move this inventory. More data points coming up here. Take a look at it. Where are we at as far as new home inventory? Well, housing market is collapsing with a near record single-family residence currently under construction. Notice when the red peaked last time. This is new home inventory. Red is completed. Blue is under construction. Green is not started. The only time we've been higher was during that great financial crisis. So remember, this time is different. It's not just a real estate problem. This is an everything bubble. It's a debt bubble that's already been popped. Jerome Powell already pricked it when he started to raise rates at the fastest pace in history in 2022. Real estate, a debt-based asset. The deal's different when you got to pay twice as much for your mortgage. By the way, where's that tracked in inflation? Because that's 100% growth. That's not 3% year over year inflation like they're trying to tell us. Where do we track that data point in our CPI? We don't. Just like every other data point that matters that gets scraped. Like I said, the devil's in the details. Take a look at this one from Bloomberg. Office tower deal for $1 reveals anxiety among longtime buyers. Take a look at it here, folks. Incredible. Largest Canadian pension. This is the problem too with the pensions and the retirement accounts. Most people don't even know where their 401k is even at or where their pension is at. But the largest Canadian pension takes steps to limit office exposure. Yeah, you think? Might be a good idea. Funds' discounted sales may have ripple effects in the market. You don't say. Now, what this is right here is them offloading properties right here. Canadian pension funds have been among the world's most prolific buyers of real estate, starting a revolution that inspired retirement plans around the globe to emulate them. Now the largest of them is taking steps to limit its exposure to the most beleaguered property-type office buildings. They have done 3 deals at discounted prices, selling its interest in a pair of Vancouver Towers, a business park in South Carolina, California, in a redevelopment project in Manhattan, with the New York stake offloaded for the eyebrow-raising price, of just $1. Now, my mentor, Dan Pena, I thought this was just the crazy old man saying. He said, you will be able to get businesses for $1. You will be able to get business owners to pay you to take their business off of them. We're seeing it. We're seeing it in office buildings, and we're seeing it in other businesses and sectors as well. This is not just a sacrifice in office. As they said, the ripple effects. You can get somebody else to pay you to take their business. You can buy businesses for $1. I thought, what's this crazy old man talking about? Same guy that said Bitcoin's going to go to 0 when we find out who it is. Crazy old man, right? Now we read that they're selling office buildings, huge towers, for $1. But what is the headlines? The headlines is home prices are at all-time high, right? New home sales tick up. Market's up. Nvidia's up. Our Bitcoin's up. Let's have a good time. And I'll tell you what, those of us that are prepared, we're going to have one heck of a time as we buy these businesses, as we buy this real estate. This is the massive opportunity. This is the transfer of wealth that's already underway. It's not just, let's pump my crypto. We're buying businesses. We're buying real estate. We're looking at private equity. And all of the deal, there's more opportunity than I can even get to, than you can get to. Let's continue. Now, we noted this one yesterday. I shared how Pelosi bought Palo Alto, some company down there. I forget what the rest of the ticker is, PANW, something like that. I don't even know what the company does. But nonetheless, Pelosi bought it. And so what did the traders do? They pile in. This is where we're at. The world is falling apart around us. And we got the traders, the Wall Street bettors, that are following Pelosi's trades, and we see Pelosi buys this call options on this stock, and now it pumped up over 10% yesterday. Now, what else are we seeing? Well, Congress Trade Alert, Representative Shri Thenadar just sold up to 800,000 of crypto, including 500,000 of Bitcoin, 250,000 of ETH, and 50,000 of Litecoin. This is in addition to the 1.12 million in stock sales he disclosed this month. Now, that's a crazy look. I'm not going to comment on that. I'm out of respect, but it's an interesting look and hairdo. But anyways, interesting trades to note is what I wanted to focus on, is that we got this congressman. We have obviously Pelosi's pumping stocks, but we have this congressman selling off. We have all the other insiders selling off, the Walton family from Walmart selling off, Bezos selling off, Gates selling off, JP Morgan Chase selling off, Warren, the Oracle of Omaha Buffett, going to 167 billion cash, ready to buy the blood in the streets, ready to buy these opportunities that are now hitting the markets. And so while we see this market go up today, you guys saw it. I already showed you the charts. Here's where we're at right now, pushing up. We went over 57,000. We're hanging just below it right now. Our XRP is pumping back up as we record this episode, pushing back up towards 57 cents. That's fun. That's fine. That's dandy. But look at all those data points that I just went through, right? I try to get through those as fast as possible because what most people want is me to just cover the charts, cover the hype, deliver the hopium, and on to the next thing. On to scrolling through, looking at whatever. Deliver hopium and, stick to crypto, deliver hopium, and then move on to the next thing. Please, Zach. And this is what some people want. Now, what most of our audience wants, though, is the real information, the real data, and breaking this down for a level that we can understand. We don't need to confuse the facts. We don't need to just focus on the hype and hopium. And in fact, doing that is how we get wrecked. And so once again, this is why I've stayed in my cash position, happy to do so. But I'm definitely not going to sit completely on the sidelines. I don't have 167 billion to park on the side like Warren. But, I got my little bag. But I can't miss what we're seeing right now. And we're not missing it. A lot of people ask, what about XRP? I'm getting messages, right? What about XRP, man? It's so hard to see this. Well, why didn't you go buy other coins if you felt the need to, right? See, folks, nothing's stopping you from investing in these other projects. I just traded out of one coin the other day. We floated up on Flare after I sold at a profit. I sold my airdrop, sold that off. Obviously, I had no cost basis on that other than holding XRP. Sold that off, bought my bag back. That bag's growing once again. There's nothing stopping us from buying other coins. If you're having FOMO, then go throw some money around. And if you don't have the money to throw around, then that's probably the real problem, is that we don't have enough to invest. We don't have enough to diversify into some of these other projects. And although XRP is doing just fine, XRP's back up. It's up about 7% on the day from the lows that we traded at just about a day or so ago. You know, we were just at 52.5 cents. But what do people want to see? They want to see $5. They want to see $500, and they want to see it now, without realizing that the fundamentals are all still at play. This thing's not going anywhere. And in fact, I got a couple data points to show you right here on the Ripple XRP update that I got for you. The fundamentals are incredibly bullish today. New partnerships announced today. Massive news coming out today. If you just completely discount and throw away and disregard and ignore the green candles on the charts, well, we got plenty of bullish news taking place here on the partnership level. Take a look at what I'm talking about right here. Pierce Technology. These are the ones that are helping with the EVM sidechain. And then we covered how Easy A app has been doing these challenges for the XRP ledger. Pierce gives them a little shout out and they say, Easy app never fails to impress us. More than 80,000 builders on the EVM sidechain and counting. Onboarding has never been so easy. Try it now. Folks, so many people, getting, all worked up. Oh, we need to focus on the builders. We need to do this. We have initiatives like this that are onboarding 80,000 builders to the XRP ledger in one drop. That's what we're talking about. That's the new wave of utility and DeFi that's coming to the XRPL now that we have the ability to give those builders the tool. See, builders don't show up to a network that's just meant for payments, right? What's there to do? Make the payments a little bit more efficient? They already settle as fast as you really need them to, right? We already have great throughput. Could get better. Could build out some infrastructure, sure. But as far as building out this network, supporting the builders, this is what we got cooking. And we finally have the tools to attract them and hand to them when they show up on the job site as well. And it's only getting started here, folks. Take a look at this one. Today, Zonix, and Ripple are partnering to bring multi-asset tokenization onto the XRP ledger. It's going live, folks. This is all being announced within the last 24 hours. Zonix and Ripple are partnering to bring multi-asset tokenization onto the XRP ledger. This partnership aims to revolutionize asset tokenization on the XRPL, making it more efficient, accessible, and liquid in the digital asset market. So while all these folks are saying that Ripple failed at payments, check my next tweet on that one, and we'll talk about Ripple's success or failure on payments. We'll talk about that. And they should have been focusing on tokenization. They should have been focusing on NFTs. Well, the XRP ledger just finally got NFTs a year and a half ago. We just finally got the ability to really tokenize different assets on the XRP ledger, and that's only going to be enabled further through the new amendments that are coming on. Clawback, EVM sidechain. You're also looking at the cross-chain bridge XLS38D. You're looking at XLS40, decentralized identity, right? And then you're looking at the AMM. Then we're going to get all of this DeFi really cooking. And as I mentioned yesterday, look at Flare as a perfect example. Flare doesn't even have the F assets live yet. Now they have the ability to delegate. That's all you really need, right? You got a little story, you got a little narrative, and you got a little bit of fundamental DeFi, given a reason for people to hold. And as I mentioned yesterday, I asked my audience on Twitter the question, are we selling or are we holding and delegating? 95%, 99%. There was like a couple people. There's like 2 people that said that they were selling. One person selling his Flare going into XRP. Another dude who's just holding but not delegating. But he's not selling his Flare. And this is very important to note because as XRP gets all this DeFi, this is the same thing that you're going to see play out. No need to sell my XRP. You have the ability to leverage your XRP, and it doesn't matter if it's staking, if it's AMM, if it's delegating. Obviously, we don't have delegation on the XRP ledger, but I'm talking about the different forms to receive yield. Put your XRP to work, collateralize it. And we see all these new tokens and issued assets that are on their way. And all these folks, Ripple needs to focus on the builders. Here you go. And if you want a little bit more insight on this partnership, we have Wrath Economin breaking it down. Quick hits about the new Ripple partner Zonix, an ambitious tokenization project based in Silicon Valley, but expanding in MENA and the Asian markets. They first appeared on the XRPL radar speaking at Swell. So they did speak at Swell. Formerly called Tacits, their platform is touted as being particularly compliant. And they note here that they are bringing multi-asset tokenization onto the XRP ledger. If I read the Ripple blog correctly, it means that Zonix is using Ripple to plug into the XRPL. Ripple does not seem to be using them. They will use the XRPL as part of their platform. Now, we're yet to see if they're going to use XRP, right? What assets? I suspect we'll hear hype about their claims to tokenize sovereign debt funds, but they also claim to tokenize yachts and VC funds too. Importantly, though, they also mentioned carbon credits. They also tokenized real estate, and their big 2023 partner was Red Swan. Their tech powers Red Swan's real estate token engine. Both carbon credits and real estate have been explored by Ripple specifically, and real-world assets in general. Yeah, they got compliance, got it covered. That's fantastic. A little bit of AI. They just changed their name. A little trademark dispute, but we are going live. Tokenization on the XRPL. Now let's talk about payments. Ashley Prosper asked Joel Katz, when Joel Katz said Ripple hadn't gotten the traction they'd hoped for in payments, why can't they mean they get more than they'd hoped for? The glass is always half full, not half empty. David responds, you can look at the success we've had in payments in just 10 years and be amazed. And you can look at the success that we've had in payments in 10 long years and feel like it's been so long and feels like we're just getting started. There's truth in both views. They've had incredible success. And as I mentioned, they never have pivoted. What they're doing right now is expanding. This isn't 12 guys in a bucket shop trying to get a little something cooking. This is a 1,000 person company nearly, global, with headquarters in Dubai, Singapore, you name it, London, right? And then what we're seeing right now is that they're just frustrated like everyone else is with the overall progress of the digital asset space, I would say, right? And what he's noting is that they've achieved incredible success, but we're just getting started still. This is how I feel about where I'm at too, right? Everybody, says, man, you're just killing it. You're doing a great job. And I say, yeah, but I still feel like we're just getting started, right? We have so much momentum behind our community. And this is how I feel about Ripple and XRP as far as payments go as well. So much momentum. Most projects aren't even invited to the conversation. And as I've continued to say about XRP, most cryptocurrencies, tokens, whatever you want to call them, you definitely cannot call them a world reserve bridge currency. You can't even bring them up in the conversation. With XRP, it continues to get brought up time and time again. It's not just by me. I'm not the only crazy person. We're going to show you a little clip here today of a German news show, basically the German CNBC, that talks. And they have a person who does call it a world reserve bridge currency. Let me remind everybody what makes a reserve currency. There's two aspects. One part is using it for transactions or settlement. The second part is using it as a store of value. This is why we have countries around the world that have been holding and continue to buy our bonds. That's holding and issuing debt to the United States government denominated in US dollars, obviously. Then you have folks that still use the US dollar for a currency means of transaction settlement, even if they don't want to, right? You've seen so many countries want to get away from the US dollar, but they can't. They just need to use it. Now those alternatives are finally starting to present themselves, and XRP is slated to be in probably the best position to be a neutral. That's key, because there's nothing neutral about the US dollar, right? People are using it as a reserve. They're using it for settlement and transactions, but they're dropping it. And they're dropping it at the fastest pace that we've seen since the great financial crisis. If you look at the data point as far as China dropping our bonds, you look at the other foreign buyers who aren't showing up at the just terrible treasury auction that we had last week. There's a very few foreign buyers that are actually showing up to buy our bonds. And what are countries around the world doing? They're ditching our US dollar, including our allies like France, Saudi Arabia, which are now doing deals outside of the US dollar. So why is that? Because it's not neutral, because we've weaponized it, and because the value continues to be erased. It continues to be devalued through inflation, and then the reserve role continues to be abused. This is why the world needs a neutral world reserve bridge currency. Listen to this clip right here, folks. This is incredible. The first time ever that I've heard anyone claiming at the Frankfurt Stock Exchange in Germany that XRP could be a world reserve bridge currency as soon as central banks will implement. This is what we're talking about right here, folks. Take a listen in.
Zentrale Frage wird sein, ich bin ja ein Freund von First Mover. Der First Mover grast für sich einfach am meisten ab. Der vereinnahmt von Anfang an für sich am meisten. Und es wird die Frage sein, wie groß ist der Druck auf die Zentralbanken, CBDCs zu implementieren, der zeitliche Druck, so schnell wie möglich etwas zu tun gegen diesen drohenden Kollaps. Und da wird man natürlich auf das zurückgreifen, was da ist. Ripple ist da mit seinem Angebot und wenn die Zeit für Ripple spielt, dann kann Ripple durchaus die World Reserve Bridge Currency werden. Zentrale Frage wird der Druck.
Oh, now, I don't know how to speak German, but I did hear World Reserve Bridge Currency. Did you guys? I don't know. Some of it got lost in translation, but I heard that part, right? Like you said, Ripple stands by ready with their offer to be a lender of last resort with a neutral World Reserve Bridge currency. Obviously, they have a big amount of the supply. If you think that the plan in the program was for Ripple to hold on to that all themselves forever, I think you're mistaken. I think you've missed what they continue to say, which is they're trying to effectively distribute XRP to institutions, banks, and folks around the world that are going to use it for its utility. And we've seen from their track record that that's what they've been doing even before the lawsuit was filed. They stopped programmatic sales in Q3 of 2019, and they moved to only institutional sales for on-demand liquidity. See, this is where Ripple and XRP are positioned unlike any other cryptocurrency company. It's not even close. Like I said, most cryptocurrency projects can't even get these folks to pick up the phone line. Now, Digital Asset Investor, huge shout out because he dug up this clip and he already found a few more clips. That's just one of them. There's a lot more where that came from. Of course, many of you guys like DAI as well and watch his content as well. So I'm sure you've seen some of them. And a huge shout out to being one of the OG researchers in the space here. And, for me, like we always say, I retweeted out his post this morning. I said, we better all quickly report the thought police because God forbid we refer to XRP as a world reserve bridge currency. God forbid we call it a reserve currency. And like I said, we are seeing that folks around the world are treating it as a reserve currency. They're using it for settlement and transaction. They're using it as a store of value. I am guilty of holding it as a store of value. I don't really use it for settlement and transactions. And this is why I laugh. All these people think that we should, they're surprised. All these XRP crazies, these bag holders, they don't want to utilize the XRPL. They don't even know what the DEX is. They don't want to buy our little meme token. No, we don't. We're not going to trade our World Reserve Bridge currency for your little meme token. Sorry, not sorry. Thank you very much. We are going to pass on that opportunity, okay? Because the adults in the room are changing the world with XRP. And at least that's my mission. Just like Ripple said, let's put a dent in the universe. And if we fail, that's fine. We tried our best. We did everything possible to make this world a better place and offer the world a solution. This is what could stop and prevent wars. Do you want to change the world or do you want to trade memes? Or you want to sell your little XRP at $5 and you're going to make a little bag? Who gives a shit about that little bag? Let's change the world. Let's build generational wealth. You here to make 50 grand? 500 grand? Or are you here to build generational wealth and change the world? Come join us or keep playing around. I don't care. Our train has left the station and it's only picking up pace. It's only building momentum. And retail's making noise because they only look at today's price chart, completely discounting the fundamentals, completely missing the bigger picture. And this is why most folks aren't going to make it. But if you want to join me on this ride to making XRP a world reserve bridge currency, show me a better option. I got a couple others that work well, gold and silver. The problem is they're not liquid. This is where we bring in distributed ledger technology and we make these commodities liquid. We make them accessible, right? We make private equity. We make real estate. We tokenize everything of value. and we put it on a ledger that remains robust, fast, cheap, efficient. But now you're also seeing it's going to matter as being neutral on the world stage. And a lot of people confused about the facts. They think that a central bank has to hold it for it to be a world reserve currency. I'll tell you right now, there's many central banks that don't hold our US dollars. There's many central banks that don't hold our bonds. There's many people around the world that don't hold our dollars, don't use our dollars at all. Okay? So perception is reality. There's many in the Bitcoin community that think that Bitcoin's going to be the new world reserve. God bless them. I'm sure it'll work out. I'm sure they'll accomplish something. And they already got a little sliver. As I've always said, we get just a little slice of this pie. We're going to be eating good. Bitcoin got a little sliver. Has a great story. Pumping up to 57 grand. That's great. Fantastic. Wonder what those Bitcoin fees are trading at right now. XRP Blinders with us. Appreciate the love, brother. Much love. Guys, if you're with me, if you support our cause, our mission to make XRP a world reserve bridge currency and change the world, not just make a little bag. Who gives a crap, man? I'm not in this to make, a little bag. This is so much bigger than make a little bag. Let's change the world. If you're with me, you guys know what to do. I'll see you in the next one. We got more content coming tonight. By the way, we'll be going live again tonight at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, and I can't wait to see you guys there. God bless you all. Thank you so much.